I love it.
I'll take it. Thank you, Paine-Webber.
In this highly competitive financial world, Paine-Webber believes the quality of life just might depend on the quality of your investments.
The time now becomes the most dramatic factor. 1:26 to play in the ball game. Alabama with 2 timeouts remaining. Auburn with 1. All Auburn wants to do is run it around, run the clock down. On 2nd down and 5. Campbell gives to James. James pops it over the right side and struggles to about the 22 before Rodriguez can stop his forward motion, and Wilcox is back in the ball game for Alabama. Tommy took a whack in the head when he took on Bo Jackson. Alabama spends another of its timeouts. Now the clock shows 1:13 to play in the ball game. Well, as you said, Frank, if Auburn holds on now, as they're looking at 3rd down and a yard to win this ball game, I don't think there's any question it's the biggest win in Pat Dye's career.
Pat Dye has his record isn't as impressive as other coaches because he's turned 3 jobs around. East Carolina had a losing program. He came back, turned it to a winning program. Same at Wyoming, and he's doing it at Auburn. He's definitely ahead of schedule at Auburn. If he should win this game, make an 8-3 and victory over Alabama. Pat Dye.
The most valuable players in the ball game for Auburn: Bo Jackson, running back. Jackson, 16 carries, 110 yards and a touchdown. For Alabama, Walter Lewis, 14 out of 24, 204 yards, a touchdown. And each university will receive from Chevrolet in the names of those players $1,000 each for their general scholarship fund. 3rd down and 1. Alabama's got to hold them if they have any hopes. Jackson over the top. Fumbles the football. Alabama's got it. Can you believe it? With a minute and 9 seconds to play in the ball game. Bo Jackson went over the top. The ball came loose. And here's Alabama, not dead yet.
Not with Walter Lewis scrambling at quarterback. Let's see if we can detect why the ball pops out. Jackson, the right halfback, is going over the top.
Oh, he had it out there like a loaf of bread, and it came right down on somebody's
ball. Way back out here. Yes, he lost going up, it seemed like.
From the 21 for Alabama, 1st down in a minute and 9 seconds to play, and Walter Lewis on a roll. He's got Ben Dross open. Jesse holds on to it. And it's a 1st down for Alabama up at the 36. 15 yards on the pass. And the clock stops while the chains are moved. A minute and 2 to play in a ball game. A field goal can win it for Alabama. 23-22 Auburn. Each team now with 1 timeout remaining. Ben Dross and Joey Jones, the wide people. 56 seconds to go in the ball game. Walter Lewis, he gets his pass off. The pass is complete. And it's good for a 1st down up at the 47. And again, the clock will stop with 48 seconds to play.
It's the same pass that Ben Dross dropped on 3rd down in the previous possession. They've gone to it twice. And both times it's open. The linebacker should stay in on the curl, force him to throw the ball short outside.
Now the chain is down, and the clock is running at 42 seconds to play. Walter Lewis again rolling out. Pass time, gets it off to the sidelines. Too long. And it's incomplete. Ben Dross coming out of bounds to make the catch.
He was wide open. Yes. Lewis just held the ball a little bit too long. At this rate, Alabama can make 2 pass completions and be in field goal range. I still would rush. I still would go after Lewis. I would not defend in this situation on every down. Lewis is too good.
35 seconds to play in the ball game. 1-point lead for Auburn, 23-22. Lewis back, getting a little pressure this time. Ottman, and he throws the ball. That may be grounding. It was Ben Thomas, number 91, that got him, and it's intentional grounding against Walter Lewis. And 30 seconds to play.
I'm really surprised that they had a running play fake. There's no need to fake the running play with 30 seconds on the clock. That just gives the defense time to penetrate. And, of course, Auburn came from the backside. And
intentional grounding. Lost it down. Third down.
So the ball comes back now to the Alabama 25.
See, he's faking, Keith, and you don't get as good a protection there. Lewis is best rolling out.
They've got to go to the Auburn 43 for the first down. They need 32 yards. Pressure. Got him by the coattail, but he gets away and dumps it off to Craig Turner. And Turner to the sidelines and out of bounds up at the 30. Now 20 seconds to play in the game.
Putting a little pressure on Lewis now, and that's what's important. Alabama's not known really for their passing statistics. They have play-action pass when they're in the ball game, not from a come-from-behind situation. So their protection's not quite as good as the normal passing teams would be.
Again, that was Ben Thomas, the big sophomore, 267-pounder that had a hold of Walter Lewis. Lewis broke away. Walter's 6'1", 209 himself. 20 seconds to play in the game. It is fourth down. They've got to go to the Auburn 43 for a first down. They've got to go deep. He got it over the middle, and it is incomplete. And with 13 seconds to play in the ball game, Auburn gets the ball. Quincy Williams was back, and he forced Walter Lewis to throw the ball. Lewis was looking deep. He didn't have anybody deep. And then when Williams arrived, he had to let it go.
It shows again that the offense going up and down the field, unless you put it in the goal line, doesn't mean all that much. Alabama controlled the offensive ball, made close to 500 yards total offense, and still is going to get beat by a team that's just over 200 yards.
Two big plays. The fumble snatched out of the air and returned for 62 yards, and the interception, the two interceptions, actually by James. No, not James. The safety man for Auburn.
Bob Harris.
Bob Harris. Well, they'll count it down. It's a happy day for the Auburn Tigers and their partisans. They come storming out onto the field. There's 5 seconds remaining to play in the ball game. They're trying to tear down the goalpost. I don't know if they can ever restore order after this. They're probably just as well now to let things run off and time expire.
3 teams have beaten Alabama this year: Tennessee, LSU, and Auburn, that haven't beaten them in over a decade.
Well, everything in life is cyclical. The cycle means around, and you can't avoid it. Sooner or later, you're going to have a few down times, and he's had few. And they're going to let the clock run off now, and the game is over. As Paul Bryant walks off, losing for the first time since 1972 to Auburn. As Pat Dye's youngsters rose up when the occasion was offered them, when the opportunity was in front of them, and they stuck it in the end zone. And the final score, Auburn 23, Alabama 22. They're determined to tear that goalpost down.
Just hope no one gets hurt, Pete,
Yes.
because it's going to fall right into the crowd of people in just a minute.
That's heavy metal. I remember one time up at Michigan State seeing a young man climb up on one of those metal goalposts, and he wound up with an injury, a serious injury, and let's just hope that that end of it that's sticking way up in the air now doesn't come crashing down on somebody.
It's been a long dry spell for the Auburn War Eagle fans, but probably as enthusiastic as any in America.
So the celebration is on in the loveliest village of the Plains.
Paulatuck, the Arctic Circle. The winters can be 10 months long and 50 below. So people
The RCA video disc player lets you see great entertainment on your TV with a remarkable picture, and now even stereo. Players start at $2.99. Plus, if you buy one now, you'll get 2 video discs free direct from RCA. That's right, 2 free, but hurry.
Hard-working hardware. Hard-working prices. That's Sears National Hardware Sale. Take this Sears garage door opener with hard-working 1/3 horsepower motor. Receiver with safety switch and over 3,000 hard-to-crack digital codes. 4.5-minute light. And not 1, but 2 solid-state transmitters. It's yours at a $60 savings. Plus, save on hundreds of other hard-working values for your hard-earned dollar. That's Sears National Hardware Sale. You can count on Sears.
Monday an ABC premiere presentation. Burt Reynolds is back in circulation.
We sure can use you.
With Jill Clayburgh and Candice Bergen. Starting over.
The bunting on the box of the American League president, Lee McPhail, there as he and his guests watch the ball game, and Reggie Jackson steps to the plate for California. Top of the 4th, game moving right along. Don Sutton's first pitch to Jackson. He struck him out swinging in the first inning, and he nails the corner on the first pitch. Fred Lynn's on deck, and Don Brayla will follow. Follow. Back 2.
Reggie's been kind of quiet for the first 2 games and into this one. He did hit that long home run, 430-foot home run.
Reggie's only been quiet with his bat. I mean, he always has something to say.
0-2 to the plate. Low, ball 1. Don Sutton, when he releases the ball, Jim, seems to have almost a snapping motion.
Well, that's the breaking ball, and the second pitch this inning, you saw Ted Simmons move inside. I don't know if too many guys can spot their curveball. Normally, you see a catcher move inside or away on a fastball, but Sutton has the ability to throw his curveball inside or outside, and that's not too many guys have that. I certainly can't do that. I can't even throw it over some of the time.
Sutton doesn't have that hop on the fastball that you go out there with most of the time.
Most of the time. There you saw the high fastball. I think that the pressure really is going to mount on Don if his team doesn't score, because he knows, he's been around long enough that if he makes a mistake, it might be the ball game, where Jeff Zahn knows that if he makes a mistake, they come back and play tomorrow.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Reggie Jackson. Leading off, top of the 4th. Struck him out looking.
And he was looking for something, too. It might be that type of ball game where one good guess by a hitter is going to win it.
And here the 2-2, perfect pitch. It's right out there on the corner, almost a little bit outside, and you could see Simmons move his glove back, which good catchers will do. Sometimes it gives the umpire a distorted look at the pitch.
Reggie can take that pitch and hit it over the left field wall, though.
Only if he swings.
Pitch is low. I'm sure it's obvious to you watching that the home plate umpire, Rich Garcia, has the protector inside, so he's down low in his posture. 2 balls and no strikes to Lynn. He walked Lynn, Sutton did, back in the first inning, and he's in a hole here, 2-0. Or at least he's behind.
Well, Lynn was 5 for 8, so Don's watched him the first couple of ball games, and I guess he's learned a little respect.
The flag is blowing quite briskly now, and it's pointed toward right field.
That will help a drive over the right field fence.
Three and one now. For a base hit, so Lynn continues to swing a hot bat. He nailed that one.
Well, here you see a fastball out over the plate. It's a good 3-1 pitch, a pitch that you know that the hitter's probably going to go back up the middle with. 0-0 ball game. You want to keep the ball in the park. You also want to duck.
Amen.
Well, we haven't seen a lot of Sutton, but he does look like a good fielding pitcher for me.
Bullet by Baylor. Throw back across, and Fred Lynn is a sitting duck. And so the Brewers turn to BP on the line drive by Baylor to Molitor, back across to Cooper, and Don Sutton walks back to the dugout with his teammates. Here's a look at it, and he really got all of it there, didn't he?
Fred Lynn couldn't tell whether the ball hit the ground. What he should do in that situation is look at the umpire.
So we are in the middle of the 4th inning, and we have no score in Game 3.
I'm about to show you something new for Intellivision that will revolutionize the way video games are played and compared. First, here's a popular Atari game. Now don't look. And here's new Space Spartans for the IntelliVoice module.
Hello, Commander.
Starbase 1 under attack. The battle is over.
New IntelliVoice. Now that Intellivision talks, you can tell the difference with your eyes closed.
Mr. Copa?
Yes?
I'm your Bell System Yellow Pages representative. I'm here to help you.
Hell, I'm in the book. What more can I say?
The Bell System Yellow Pages can do the talking for you. You know, the food is great.
Mama does all the cooking.
Well, say it.
I said it.
Say it here in the Yellow Pages, where 4 out of 5 people let their fingers do the walking.
Mama, he's here to help us.
Really? Give him my apron.
Get the Yellow Pages talking.
Mama does all the cooking.
Let your fingers do the walking.
We are USA 1, taking charge with a shape that turns air into an engineering ally. Celebrity, so aerodynamic it uses less than 12 horsepower to cruise at 50 miles an hour. So efficient, its mileage estimates beat even some smaller, less roomy imports. The front-wheel drive Celebrity, a new generation Chevrolet. USA 1 is taking charge.
We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Second time around for Robin Yount, Cecil Cooper, and Ted Simmons against the Angels left-hander Jeff Zahn. No score in the ball game. Angels sitting on a 2 games to none lead in the best-of-5 series. And Robin Yount has not had a good series. He popped up to Rod Carew his first time today. Tantalizing breaking pitch, drifting in for a strike.
And again, we see the pattern. There's an off-speed pitch early in the count when they get ahead. And they know he's got to be an aggressive type of hitter. They go either in or away with the fastball, and they've been able to handle Robin.
He wanted to jump on that one, but he pulled away from it, took it for ball 1. 1-1. In the first game, through 4 innings, it was 7-3 California. In the second game, through 4 innings, it was 4-0 California. So the 2 pitchers have been dominant so far here in Game 3. That is inside. balls and 1 strike on Robin Yount. 3-1. Robin, of all people this morning, was talking about patience, and he's exercising it right here.
Well, that's the one thing he's been able to do much better this year than ever, and I think that probably accounts for the fine year he had. But this is also the second time around for Zahn, and this is when you find out how good you're really throwing.
3-2 on the foul at the plate. The wind again now shifting a little bit, and we've got a balloon drifting down. It may go on back into the crowd, and it will, so it will not interrupt play. With a 3-2 count on Robin Yount. Inside, ball 4. So he works in for a walk. We've talked about Bill Kunkel wearing the balloon protector. And game 2, Kunkel was back at the plate. Now you can see his posture in relation to the catcher and relation to the hitter. Now, Rich Garcia has the inside protector, and you can see that he's a little bit lower than Kunkel.
And he doesn't even get as low as some of the umpires in the league. There's a big difference. The strike zone has definitely gone down in the American League the last couple of years. I think the inside protector gives the umpires a better chance to see the ball, especially the low pitch.
Cecil Cooper is at the plate now with Yount on first base, and Robin Yount is a runner.
Second inning in a row that Milwaukee got the first hitter on.
It opens up the situation where you have the left-handed hitter, you have the first baseman holding the runner on, you have that hole. Cooper can pull the ball.
John now goes to 2 balls and no strikes, and that brings Bob Boone out to the mound for a check. Milwaukee didn't have to do all that much running during the course of the season. Yount stole 14 bases and was caught only 3 times.
Well, he has excellent speed, but with this ball club, as you said, he doesn't have to run. You don't want to, and Earl would testify to this, you don't want Yount getting thrown out with Cooper and Simmons and Ogilvie and Thomas coming up, do you?
No, and you want to leave that hole open for Cooper if he can pull it, and he looked like he tried to pull that ball. If Cooper goes out and Yount's still on first base, I think they might try to do a little running when Simmons comes to the plate, possibly to stay out of the double play. Cooper's really staring down at the third base coach here. There were a lot of signs given. I don't know myself.
Harry Warner, the third base coach. Ron Hansen, the first base coach for the Brewers. Well, they're taking a good long look. It's on now, the second trip around, and Robin Yount walked, and Cooper now has gone to a 3-1 count.
Here you see a low slider. He takes it. He struck him out on that pitch last time. Yount walked on the same pitch, which was almost a strike on the inside corner, but showed some of that patience you were talking about.
That's foul back here. And he's full down to Cooper at 3-2.
I think he might go now. He'll need help from Cooper because I don't think he'll get that bit of jump off his arm.
And the number of pitches are beginning to accumulate rather rapidly. As Zahn as Milwaukee really is making Zahn work the limit. Go back to first. Nothing there.
Well, Zahn doesn't have a great pickoff move. He doesn't have the Flanagan move. Mike Flanagan, who pitches for our ball club, has probably the best move in the league. You just can't run on a guy like that.
And 2 strikes on Cecil Cooper in a scoreless ball game.
It really is a good pitch to run because you have a controlled pitcher who doesn't want to get into a big inning situation. You stay out of the double play.
Runner goes, foul back. Count holds 3-2.
They haven't had a lot of chance to play this type of baseball, so I think he might keep going. We'll get a chance to see Boone's arm if he misses it.
Zahn slowed the pace considerably here in the bottom of the fourth. Runner goes, pitch is hit down the line. Fair ball going to the wall. Robin Yount turning third. He's coming home. The throw to the relay man, Grich. There's no play at the plate. Go back to second. Cooper gets the Milwaukee Brewers on top by a 1-0 score with a double to the right field corner.
The 3-2 count allowed Yount to run, and as a result, I don't think he would have scored had he not been going.
Here you'll see a high slider. Same pitch he struck out on. It's not a very good pitch. It's in the middle of the plate. This is why Cooper hit .313. And Yount with excellent speed scores easily. Standing up.
Time called as Gene Mauch, the manager of the California Angels, is on his way to the mound. He wants to talk to his pitcher because Zahn became very, very deliberate on both Yount and Cooper. Went to 3-2, walked Yount, and then Cooper nailed it.
Well, Cooper also fought off a couple good pitches. He fouled off Zahn, real good pitch that Zahn threw right before the double.
Angel bullpen up. That's Dave Goltz, number 30, big right-hander, who came over from the Dodgers and finished with a record of 8-5. The other right-hander, the big lanky one, is Mike Witt, who is a youngster and can throw bullets. Gene Autry, number 26. They gave him the uniform, number 26, when they clinched the West. They called him the 26th man, and the team voted to retire the number.
I'm sure what Gene Mauch, I know many times when you come out to the mound, Earl, to talk to me, you have a situation here where you want to stay away from the big inning. You know that your ball club has the capability to score runs. And Jeff Zahn is getting himself into a big inning situation. This is what we said. I thought that the clubs that would win were the clubs that could stay away from the big innings, and the Angels did that on the first two nights.
With nobody out, Ted Simmons hits one up the middle for a base hit. Cecil Cooper coming around third. Here's the throw through, and he stops at third base as Harry Warner came all the way down to home plate to put up the stop sign.
I think he was right. I don't know whether they'd have him or not, but with Gorman Thomas coming to the plate, nobody out, chances are you're going to get that second run in anyway.
Not a bad pitch, just a changeup. Again, as we said, it's the second time around. You kind of get a pattern on a pitcher. Milwaukee's hit Zahn well this year, and they're doing so in this inning.
Taking no chances with that good arm of Fred Lynn in center field. This is the first time since the second inning of the first game the Milwaukee Brewers have led in a ball game. Nobody out. Cooper is over at third, Simmons at first, and Gorman Thomas is the batter.
In a situation like this, I don't mind my pitcher conceding that second run to stay away from the big inning, like Jim said. Let's get out of here with two and try to get in and swing the bats ourselves.
With nobody out, the runners are on the corner. One run is in. Dave Goltz and Mike Witt throwing in the California bullpen, and the pitch is up around the eyes to Thomas.
And as most pitchers do, when you get in the jam, you'd have a tendency to overthrow. I think the only time that I would ever try to strike a batter out in this situation is if I get ahead quickly, 2 strikes, no balls, and you have a chance. Gorman Thomas, being a strikeout type of hitter, either hits the home runs, 39, or strikes out a lot, then you go for the strikeout. Otherwise, you'd like to pop him up or double play ball to get out of the inning with only 2 runs.
Zahn wiggling himself into a hole with the third successive batter with a count now at 2-1, and Debbie Thomas prayerfully watching from the stand with Gorman at the plate.
I think Gorman's a lot more relaxed than his wife.
It looks like it, doesn't it? Well, this crowd is alive. A 2-1 pitch. He hits it in the air. Center field. Lynn back there. Should score Coop from third. There's the catch. The throw comes into second base. Cooper canters home, and it's 2-0 Milwaukee. We've got one out now for Ben Ogilvy. and Ted Simmons, who does not have good speed at first base.
I'm almost certain they'll let Simmons stay there, and that gives Ogilvy the hole to shoot at.
There's two reasons. For that reason, and the fact also that Simmons doesn't run very well.
Benji looking for his first base hit in this series, and he's too good a hitter. You're not going to keep the door slammed on him, I don't think, forever.
Very difficult to do, and it's unusual. We showed the first time he came up that they basically play him to pull. And as we said in the second telecast, the last few games he played against the Orioles during the season, he was going to left field a lot more. In fact, he hit 2 or 3 ground balls to the right of the shortstop. In other words, between third and short.
But that was new. They might have not saw Benji late in the season.
I would think they would scout him. I know.
Oh, yes.
All right, Zahn comes on the outside corner and gets a strike. Use the telestrator here to give you an idea of the defense.
Well, you can see there's plenty of room over here at third base.
Hit to the right side through. Base hit. Simmons will turn at second. He's going to third. Jackson's throw across to DeSensei. He's safe.
And he took advantage of the hole.
First hit for Benji. And Ted Simmons was really pumping coming around that bag and went in on his tummy at third hard.
The ball's hit hard. I'm surprised he goes to third base, but what he counted on was Reggie make a throw that was a little bit offline, and you'll see Reggie charge the ball. I don't really think he thinks Simmons is going to go. He makes an excellent throw, but it's just a little bit off to the left. And the head first slide.
The throw had something on it, and for those people that think that Reggie's arm is starting to slip, he showed us that it wasn't.
Now the DH coming to the plate, Don Money. You've got one out. And runners on the corner. Ogilvy at first and Simmons at third, and 2 runs are in, and the high fly ball hit out to left field. Simmons tags. It is not too deep. Simmons is going. Downing's throw. Offline. 3-0. Milwaukee. Ogilvy to second. Two down.
There's where aggressiveness got them an extra run. If they're trailing by 2 or 3 runs like they were in the first 2 ball games, you don't take that challenge.
Simmons challenging Jackson from right field to get over to third, and now challenging Downing to score on the medium depth fly ball from left field. You see there's no play on him, and Gene Mauch is going back to the pitching mound.
No chance for a cutoff on the play either. And it allowed Ogilvy to tag up from first and go to second, and now there's another run in scoring position.
Would he have been better off there, Earl, to try to hit a cutoff man?
Well, I like my players to know their own ability. Myself, when the ball went up, I didn't think Downing had much of a shot to get the man out at home plate.
We're going to get a new California pitcher. It looks like it's going to be the young right-hander, 6'7" Mike Witt, replacing Jeff Zahn, and we'll be back in a moment.
Hi, we're the Gatlins. We sing all across the country.
And we've tried fried chicken from coast to coast. But there's one special fried chicken we love the most.
And what's that called?
Original recipe.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, they do it right. 11 herbs and spices in every bite.
Original recipe.
Just one way, we ought to know. Kentucky Fried Chicken, they do chicken right.
When you're a company whose ideas and innovations shape the very way we live and work, you dare not be complacent. It's crucial that you rediscover and re-examine all your separate parts, so that when the pieces come together again, you approach your universe from a new perspective. Tomorrow is taking shape at a company called TRW.
According to a Prestone survey, 7 out of 10 cars on the road have rust in their radiators. Of these, almost half could look this bad. Any radiator could get this bad after just 10,000 miles driving on weak, neglected antifreeze. But look at the Prestone difference. Prestone, with its patented silicone silicate formula, forms a tough, protective barrier to lock out rust and corrosion. Be safe. Put in a fresh fill of Prestone now. Deep inside, trust Prestone.
Undefeated #1 Washington in a key Pac-10 showdown with California, plus other regional games. Another reason to watch NCAA football Saturday on ABC.
Too Close for Comfort, a new episode on ABC, and then Richard Crenna and Patty Duke Aston return to television in an outstanding family comedy. It Takes Two, an hour of laughs, and it comes up Thursday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain on ABC. Mike Witt will come to the mound now for California. His record on the year, he stands 6'7". He throws hard.
Yes, he does throw hard. And he's capable, believe me.
Just a youngster. Amidst all the tumult, there is the ultimate composure.
Really relaxed.
The batter is Charlie Moore, who's been a pesky fellow in the series. 4 singles in 7 trips. Takes it inside as he looks at Witt for the first time. He's all arms and elbows out there, and then suddenly there's a bullet.
He faked a bunt, dug his back. He should be back in a 2-out situation, trying to knock the ball down to save a run.
Fouls that one away on the screen.
I think Moore just more or less faked it to try to get dug in a step or two, but I honestly don't feel that he should step in. He's back a good 6-8 feet behind the bag. If Moore wants to give it an attempt, he's got a good chance of doing it. And by that I mean bunting the ball down the third baseline.
The sensei's pulled groin muscle much better, so he's moving better. He's a little quicker than he was in the opening game. Count now 2 balls and 1 strike. Location and control for Witt. Sometimes a problem for him.
He really didn't have that many walks this year, but occasionally he'll get behind in the count. He just comes in and he can get in trouble doing that way.
That's fouled away.
He has a type of fastball where he can go after that center of that plate, and it will move one way or another at times.
So we call that the variable chance deviation theory. That's the theory Davy Johnson once sprung on Dave McNally when he said, if you're trying to throw it for the corners and it goes to the middle, why don't you throw it for the middle, because maybe it'll go to the corners. Apparently it's a mathematical theory. And Witt does throw that kind of fastball. The ball runs real well, and just throw it for the middle and hope that it moves.
Swing and a miss, and strikes him out. And if it doesn't move, duck. But that time it dove in there to get the strikeout. But the Milwaukee Brewers get on the board and lead after 4, 3-0.
Time. When you ship air cargo, time really is money. That's why Flying Tigers makes you this 100% on-time guarantee. No matter what you have to ship, we'll pick it up, fly it, and deliver it virtually anywhere in the country on time, or you don't pay. Flying Tigers. It's on time, or it's on us.
Flying Tigers.
We are USA 1. Taking charge with a Chevrolet so versatile. It's part moving van, part school bus, part camper, and part sporting car. The front-wheel drive Chevy Citation, outselling every other front-wheel drive over the past 3 years combined. USA 1 is taking charge.
Here's to good.
Hey, how you doing?
Tonight.
Hi, Jim.
Hey,
what's up?
The view.
Oh, I thought it was about time I paid you back.
Must say something.
Paid us back? I paid us back for what? Last Sunday when the Palmers dropped in, you loaned me some beer.
Well, Jim, that was beer. This is Lowenbrow.
Well, let's call it interest.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
You know, Jim, I've been thinking. Maybe you ought to borrow things more often.
Let it be Lowenbrow.
With a cloud of dust and a high-yo at third base for Ted Simmons, reflected there by our electronic artist, Joni Carter. Nicely done. So we'll go now to Doug DeCinces, Bobby Grich, and Tim Foley for the California Angels as we move to the top of the 5th inning in the Milwaukee Brewers. Battling to stay alive in the best-of-5 series, leading in the ball game by a score of 3-0.
Well, they did it last year, Keith. They lost the first 2 games at home, and they went on the road and won it. And again, this is the same situation where when your team scores some runs, you like to go back out there and shut out the other team and give them another opportunity. And let's see what Sutton can do.
Big moment in this baseball game right now as Mr. Garcia, the home plate umpire, will have a look at it. And in case you somehow have been underground and missed the story, we had a scuff ball thing happen over in Baltimore last week. One showed up. Sutton was warned on it. And obviously, they're going to go out and check it once in a while. And there's a shot up the middle by DeCinces for a base hit. It was thrown up around the letters, or at least up in the neighborhood of the letters, and he just jumped on it.
I think it was out of the strike zone, but Doug DeCinces is, again, I'm repeating myself from another ball game, but he's one of the best high fastball hitters in the American League.
And also we have a situation where the shadows have kind of dissipated as far as affecting the batter and the hitter. Everybody's in the shadows and probably seeing the ball a little bit better.
The pitch to Grich, swing and a miss. See the shadows now, the pitcher and the batter are in solid shadow.
This could be a tough sun field in left field as the afternoon grows longer.
Yes, it is. If there is a 4th game, we'll have it at noon Milwaukee time tomorrow, and once again shadows will be a factor if there are shadows, because we understand there's some inclemency brewing on the horizon with the weather. Strike call. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
This is the first time a Milwaukee pitcher has really had a cushion like this, and Sutton went out and challenged the first hitter.
That was dumb. Because he hit it right back up the middle. I'm sure he tried to make a good pitch and wasn't able to do it. I was only kidding when I say that. It's dumb.
Pretty good pitch right there. He strikes out. Bobby Grich swinging for the 2nd time in the ball game.
It's possible that he could have said to himself after the base hit, well, I'm not going to change my pattern. I'm going back to what I did the first and second time around.
That is the 4th strikeout for Don Sutton in the ball game. And now it is Tim Foley, who bounced out to the shortstop his first trip. Doug DeCinces bounces off the bag at first, and Foley loops it foul. Well, we're now in the top of the 5th inning, and if Sutton is want to change his pattern, this would be a normal time to start thinking about it and doing it, and that's fouled away on the right side as well.
Tim Foley is trying to take advantage of the hole with Cecil Cooper holding Doug DeCinces on.
He can do that quite well. Did it against us innumerable times this year. That got Rick Dempsey to choke up. He said if Foley can do it, so can I. Very effective.
That's foul back. Weather permitting tonight in St. Louis, the Braves and Cardinals at 8 Eastern Time will play Game 2 of the National League Championship Series, and we will have it for you here on ABC with Al Michaels, Howard Cosell, and Los Angeles Dodger manager Tom Lasorda. A 2-strike count on Foley. Pops it up. Simmons coming back. Can't get it.
Game of inches. Out of play by no more than 12 inches. And a base hit brings the tying run to the plate.
Bobby Knopp, the first base coach for California. Preston Gomez, the third base coach. 1 out. DeCinces at first. That's up. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And there you can see Foley with a choked up grip on the bat. Worked very well for him. 79, hit over 290.
Throws the bat at the ball. Striking out. Or was it a foul tip? Foul tip.
It was a foul tip, and Simmons tried to act like it hadn't hit the ground, but it did, and Rich Garcia called it right away.
Yeah, you can see it foul there. Don Sutton has to do a little jig out pitcher's mound to dodge the bludgeons. One-two pitch. That's foul back. I'll tell you one thing, old Tim is hanging in there, isn't he? The grip on that bat that he uses is not much bigger than the grip on an average golf driver. It is really thin. He can go quite a ways up. You see he's put a piece of tape around it as a reminder of where he wants to go with it. And once again, he's fouled it off.
He's fighting off some pretty good pitches. Charlie Moore keeps moving up in the right field position. He's pretty shallow right now.
Foley is now fouled off 7 pitches against Sutton. This Charlie, you'd see he's crept in quite a bit.
Sutton's been pitching away. You would think with a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes that he may come inside. See if Simmons moves in. He's just going up in the strike zone, and he strikes him out.
Bad pitch, too.
Well, that's the advantage of being ahead in the count. You get the 2-strike count, and the hitter becomes a little bit more aggressive. Doesn't trying to protect the plate, just wants to get a piece of the ball. He knows it's a bad pitch, but he already committed himself too soon.
So with 2 down now, here is Bob Boone. Doug DeCinces led off with a single up the middle. Rich couldn't move him over, striking out swinging. Now Foley, after fouling off 7 pitches, he strikes out swinging. And here's Boone with 2 down. To the shortstop, Yount. To the second baseman for the lead runner and the 3rd out of the inning. And so Sutton turns him away. And in the middle of the 5th, 3-0, Milwaukee leads. Back with more baseball after this word from our local station.
Monday, it's those incredible kids. Meet a mother who's had 51 kids. And catch Ms. Pac-Man competition. That's incredible. Then Burt Reynolds is back in circulation with Jill Clayburgh and Candace Bergen. A network television premiere starting over.
Watch Monday.
Bishop Parker's warehouse sale. Tomorrow only from 8 till 4. Great values on furniture, carpet, accessories, especially bedding. Right behind the downtown store at Bishop Parker's warehouse sale.
First Alabama Bank wants your auto loan business. We know you've got a lot of cars to choose from, but before you make that choice, back up and come to First Alabama Bank first. We've got more offices to serve you, and our people work with car dealers to arrange hassle-free financing at very competitive rates. So shift to First Alabama Bank or ask your dealer about a First Alabama auto loan.
Come join in the fantastic savings during Walmart's 20th anniversary celebration of savings. Norelco's 10-cup Dial-A-Brew drip coffee maker has features you'd expect to cost extra. It brews any strength, has safety on light, and keeps 3 to 10 cups of coffee warm. And it's only $19.93 every day. And now with a $5 manufacturer's rebate, your final cost is just $14.93. Come into Walmart for the savings we're famous for during our 20th anniversary celebration of savings.
Going good. Well, they're feeling festive on this autumn afternoon in Milwaukee's County Stadium with their ball club sitting on a 3-0 lead. Don Sutton turning away California in the top of the 5th inning, and now it'll be Jim Gantner for his first look at lanky Mike Witt, to be followed by Paul Molitor and Robin Yount. All one.
Something comes to mind that you said many times, Earl, is that when you're playing poorly, you never really look as bad as you look when you're playing poorly. You never look as good as you really are when you're playing well. And
that was almost right.
Well, almost right, whatever you said. I never listened to you in the first place, so.
Yeah, that's the truth.
That's
I got some of it over the years. But I think a perfect example of what a 3-0 lead will do is last inning, the Angels get their leadoff They're trailing 3-0. Get the leadoff hitter on. They can't hit and run. They don't want to run themselves out of an inning.
That's foul.
Boy, this fella's throwing hard.
Yeah, he can bring it. Gene Mark, all club down by 3 runs. But his pitching staff is well rested. He's really got him stacked right where he wants them. That one misses, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'll tell you what you ought to do with Jim Palmer, Earl. Send him a copy of your book.
No, he made me buy one.
Oh, did he? The actual statement is, and Paul Richards said it many years ago.
Gantner strikes out.
You're never as good as you look when you win, and you're never as bad as you look when you lose.
Didn't I say that?
Close.
Well, kind of, something like that.
You can see that Mike Witt was pretty stingy when it came to yielding the big ball. He led the league. He struck out Charlie Moore, the first man he faced, swinging, and he has now struck out Jim Gantner looking. That's a roller to the second baseman, Grich, and Molitor is out at first base. It'll bring up Robin Yount now.
Mike Witt's doing exactly what you ask of a long reliever or somebody who comes into this situation, to stop the other ball club until your guys can get some runs on the board. And for years, Sammy Stewart did that for Baltimore. Come in and the club could be trailing 4-0 and give us some chance to catch up.
The worst part of that is if you get that performance that you're looking for, and Witt's in the ball game, and it looks like he's going to keep him close. But if you don't come back, you've wound up losing that pitcher for the next day or the day after.
Michael Atwater Witt, now living in Buena Park, California, was born in Fullerton. And the count is 1 ball and 1 strike on Robin Yount. Over the mound, toward the middle and through. Robin Yount with a single up the middle, 2 out for Cecil Cooper. The crowd will go Cooper. Coming up tomorrow here on ABC, NCAA college football will fit in between the baseball games if the weather will allow, and we will have the undefeated Washington Huskies going against the California Golden Bears after the American League playoff game is finished, if we have one. And then following the college football will be the National League playoffs at 8 Eastern time. The college games are Iowa, Indiana, Southern Mississippi, Mississippi State, and Holy Cross Colgate. Check your local listings as Cooper steps in and takes ball 1.
Good running situation, Earl?
Very good. Very good running situation. I expect him to go.
Foul back. Look out.
Ever got hit by a ball, Keith, up here?
Never been hit. I've had some ricochet in here, but Butch Hobson a couple of years ago peeled Howard. Nailed him right in the breastbone. He was trying to steal Euchre's popcorn and wasn't looking at Fenway Park in Boston, and Hobson nailed it. Right on the tight lip. You know what? He didn't run until he got home. Rumor has it he went to the hospital. Cooper fouls it off on the left side.
Robin Yount evidently has go if you get the chump, and that means he's on his own out there right now at first base. He took a step on the last pitch, but felt he didn't have a good enough jump to go and held up.
My athletic ability, Jim, rests with eluding errant missives on the street and in the press box.
Well, they seem to pick up speed by the time they get up here.
They sure do. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and Ted Simmons swinging a bat, waiting in the on-deck circle. You got 2 out. Yount at first base. He has good speed. He showed you that when he came around to score after having walked back in the bottom of the 4th inning. He's going. The pitch is swung on and missed, and Cooper strikes out. So Cecil Cooper trying to get a hold of a high fastball, didn't do it. And we continue with Milwaukee leading 3-0.
Great GM feeling.
And save a gallon of gas.
With genuine GM parts.
The news from the Bell system, any business with 40 telephones to 25,000 can start with the Dimension PBX and build an integrated information system. New add-on functions let you combine voice and data, manage energy,
with the PBX system,
centralize message handling, distribute communications benefits, and carry over much of what you have when there's a new generation of Bell business systems to install. Talk to your Bell account executive about it. The knowledge business.
Hey, Joe, want some sirloin scraps for your dog?
Nope. All he needs to eat is Alpo beef-flavored dinner. It's got so much meat protein, there's no need to add meat.
Come on, how much meat protein is in a dry dog food?
There's as much meat protein in this bag of Alpo Dry as in 10 pounds of sirloin.
That's a lot of meat protein. Look at him go.
He loves the taste.
Yep, and now Alpo beef-flavored dinner has a new beefed-up taste.
Many states are telling welfare recipients to get a job and helping them find one. Will more states follow, replacing welfare checks with paychecks? Watch ABC's World News tonight.
I wonder if all that paint keeps your body warm. Well, they're hardy souls, I'll tell you that, from the upper Midwest to be walking around without a shirt because that wind is pretty brisk. Here you've got the top of the order now for California. Brian Downing, Rod Carew, Reggie Jackson. Milwaukee leading 3-0 as Sutton delivers to Downing high. He lost in the '74 World Series. Dodgers did. Don had no decision. His first outing in the World Series. He does not possess a World Series ring, and he really wants one at age 37. Circumstances where the ball game and the series was on the line, just as he is today, just as he was last Sunday. That's a high pop on the right side. Cecil Cooper in foul ground makes the catch. So Downing is out of there. Earlier today, in talking with Don Sutton, we visited on many subjects, including this one. 74 World Series, no decision. 77, complete game win. 78, a loss. Still no World Series ring. So I got a feeling your neck's bowed on that.
Well, I would really like to. When I started playing in the major leagues, I thought that if I could make an all-star team, if I could start and stay a starter for a while, if I could play in a World Series, and if I could win one, then I would have everything I could ever want. Thus far, all of them have come true except winning a World Series. And there's a great measure of satisfaction in playing in a World Series, but just once I'd like to have the people from the other clubhouse come down and congratulate us.
And he's out there trying to effect a move toward another chance in the World Series as he pitches to Rod Carew, and the count now on the California first baseman is 2 balls and a strike. Carew stung him for a base hit in the first inning and then lifted a fly ball to center field his second time up.
The take was on all the way on the 2-0.
That's foul back, and now Sutton's even at 2-2.
And by the take, I mean it's a sign that the hitter will get from the third base coach, telling him not to swing at the pitch no matter what it might be.
Rodney with 1 hit in the championship series, and he looks it high. So Sutton has gone full to him, 3-2. 1 out, nobody on. California bat in the top of the 6th inning. First baseman Cooper, easy, 2 down.
He let him hit the 3-1. It didn't work this time.
Roy Smalley, shortstop for the New York Yankees. Crowd. Sitting here watching his uncle, Gene Mock, manage his ball club.
I rode up in the elevator with the whole family the other night, and I'm in there with Roy, and to tell you the truth, I really didn't, as many home runs as he's hit against us, I didn't recognize him.
You know, he doesn't look as big.
He never looks big. The ball just goes a long way.
The ball just goes a long way. That's right.
Now, I think Keith meant to say up close. He doesn't look as big as he does on the field.
Pitch to Jackson, swing and a miss, 1-1.
That was the October swing.
Looped, and Gantner, the second baseman, just could not quite get to it. So it drops in for a base hit. You're watching on ABC Sports, Game 3 of the American League Championship Series. Let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
In Montgomery, Alabama.
Score of 3-0. You have 2 out. Reggie Jackson on first base. Fred Lynn came in, the hot hitter of the series. 5 for 8, walked, and then singled up the middle. So Sutton was very careful with him the first time and lost him, careful with him the second time, and Lynn stung him for a single. So Freddie now with 6 hits and 9 trips. And trying to deliver Jackson from first base. In there. 1-1.
Again, we see the breaking ball count behind 1-0. Good curveball.
Brewers have to win to keep the series alive, and their hopes alive. California winning the first 2 in Anaheim on Tuesday and Wednesday. Outside corner, dandy pitch, 1-2.
He's really moving the ball around, too.
Well, Larry Haney, the bullpen coach with Milwaukee, and he's been around for years, probably signed about 1960, said he's never ever seen a pitcher that could do as much